So you and I, we're overachievers, right? And one of the problems that can come with that, and this is the reason I'm making these videos in the first place, is that a lot of the things that we can do to cope with anxieties are things that are reinforced by society. So tell me if this sounds familiar. You killed it in school, right? You got good grades. You got all the pats on the back, you got all the boops on the head for a good report card. Maybe you went out to dinner for that biology test grade that went well, but the actual experience of going to school was like pretty stressful. For example, you'd have a test and you'd study really hard and you'd get a really good grade on that test and you'd feel good and everything would be great, right? Not completely. Putting this in terms of our framework, we're viewing the test as a threat and we're over-exaggerating what it means to not do good on that test. So I wasn't thinking this consciously, but subconsciously my thoughts would go something like, okay, well, I need to do good on this test because if I don't, I'm not going to get good grades. And if I don't get good grades, then I'm not going to be valedictorian. And if I'm not going to be valedictorian, then I'm not going to get into my dream college. And if I'm not going to get into my dream college, then, I mean, it's kind of like my whole thing is that I'm the smart one, right? So if I don't have the grades or if I can't show that through my college, then what do I even have? And then somehow I'm just gonna end up in a ditch. Or even worse, I'm gonna live with my mom like one of those nerds they make fun of in iCarly. Bah! So what did I do? I studied. Which isn't always a bad thing, right? But if your perception of the threat is very exaggerated, then it's possible to overstudy. To study to the point where it's taking away from other aspects of life. Like you're making note cards instead of sleeping, or you're skipping out on Mario Kart night with friends. All because your thoughts aren't matching up with reality. And that's how you end up with a pre-med student who's studying the chemical structure of ethanol on a Saturday night at 2 a.m. while all of his friends are out at the bar consuming ethanol. Not that that's better, but you get my point. So at the end of the day, it can be easy to look at that A that you get on the test and be like, well, I did a good thing today. Way to go me. But it can be hard to recognize the anxiety that comes behind it. And here's a big one, and we'll get into this in another video, but it can be really, really hard to want to change, even if you do recognize that anxiety, because you're getting external validation, you're getting results in the outside world from the behavior that comes out of that anxiety. You know, you're getting a sense of identity, you're getting a sense of safety, you're getting the praise of your peers and the professors and your parents and everybody who's like, yes, you're doing good in school. Like, I'm killing it as a parent. My kid's getting A's. Like your mom gets to go to the PTA meeting and be like, well, Jenny, did your kid get a 97 on the math test? Oh. And and getting good grades can be great, but just don't forget to ask yourself, 1 to 10, where are you at on the I'm loving life scale right now? So that's it for this one, and we'll dig into another example in the next video. Thanks, guys.